What is going on, everybody? Lucky Boy here. Today, talk about getting free NFTs and flipping them for some profit. Now, I've had free NFTs in the past, and I want to go over what kind of free NFTs you can get. But this is actually talking about ones that I minted, and usually on the free ones, they have something like, well, it varies. Sometimes it's the whole collection's free. Obviously, that's the reason they do that is that they, instead of having a mint price, they want to get people in. They want to then get the collection on OpenSea, and then they want to gain revenue for themselves through the secondary sales. So the entry fee is low, but they're actually making their money to develop a project, earn some income through the royalties. So that's one option. Obviously, you can go ahead and mint, but what if it doesn't mint out and the collection sort of loses its like luster? Loses its sort of momentum, and then long term it's not very good. So it's in a way always good to try to mint out a collection, definitely almost like a PFP, like kind of like something like this, because then it and then starts to build volume, because then obviously then it will rank in rankings and stuff like that, and it will just help the overall collection gain some attention basically. And some of them can be terrible, and some of them can be really lucrative, I guess. Or lucrative in a sense that it's, yeah, maybe you can't go and slip a 10 ETH, but you know the entry fee is really low with the risk. But if you do some checks, you can potentially make some money. So that actually is my girlfriend's one that we're trying to sell. She's had a bid, you can see 0.1 on this. Hers is rarer than mine. This is actually the collection that basically minted out a couple of days ago, February 6th, you can see here. And because it obviously mint, I think the first 500 or 1,000 were free, and then the rest were like really cheap, 0.0, almost the same price as this. The average floor price it was like 0.0. It's like $100 or something. So sometimes they can do it like that. Sometimes they can do the whole collection for free. It just depends. But usually at least on some of them you'll have like 1,000 for free out of the whole collection. And it's just to build momentum, get stuff onto secondary market and that kind of thing. And you can see here on day 2 it had 4,129 sales, and the average price actually got to 0.1149. And I went and sold mine yesterday morning for 0.1 profit, not net profit. So I think it was 0.095 or something that I got after fees. So the fees weren't massive, but all good. And this is my girlfriend's one, well, the one I just showed you, and she's obviously got a slightly rare, so she could probably make at least 0.2. But mine was a sort of relatively common, and so fair enough. I didn't really care. The project looks cool, I did, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's like a Hape sort of play on the Hape collection, because the Hape collection actually has like issues with the art. So this is actually like the kind of like original one, I guess you could call it, which will look very similar, slightly different rendering look. But the ears, you can see here, it's kind of like a little bit of a piss take on the ears, where they're like through the hat and stuff like that. Like something kind of went wrong, and so like you'll notice there's stuff, I don't know if you can see it, but there's not just the hats, but there's jewelry that they wear which is floating, I believe. I've seen it in the Discord. You might not be able to see it on all of them, of course, but yeah, you can't really see it here, but like, you can see that here it's like hanging out, and there's lots of other little bits as well, which you can, if you zoom in, you can see a lot. But it's kind of like a little bit of play on that, because this is still pretty cool artwork, considering it was basically like no price. Yeah, so it was kind of like mucking around, playing around with that a little bit to say, look, in a week or 2 weeks, we can basically do something, equally as good. That looks cool, and it's cheap, and we actually get it right. So you can see like it's got Hate Beasts on here, and it's just sort of mucking around. So, no one knows if it's going to be successful, because there is a lot of projects out there that try to mint for free. And so you kind of want to do your checks first. Now, what I mean by checks, there isn't a huge amount you can do. The first check is, what's the price to mint? If the first, say 500 or 1,000 are free and you can get him, beautiful, because the entry risk is gas. And my actual gas fee for this, not this one, but the one I sold, was $30, I think. $28, and we can go ahead and check. It's not an issue. because they little hate thing. I minted it. You can see here I minted here on 2 days ago, February 6th, 7 p.m. Sold it February 7th, 8 a.m. Basically 12 hours ish. My gas fee. What's my gas fee? Oh, I did pay $31. All right, $31. I thought it was 28, but ultimately it doesn't matter. So the cost was pretty small, and the actual return you can see here $310, but I got that much transferred to my wallet. So let's say it was 250 quid, 200, yeah. Even if it's $200, as I say, I don't even really care. It's somewhere, and that's with 12 hours of nothingness, just going to sleep, waking up, selling it basically, because the whole collection by the morning had minted out, and so that was a good sign that the whole thing had minted out overnight. And then obviously, from that point, only secondary sales will apply because there's nothing to mint. So the only issue you do get is where minting is still accessible on the website, and then there's kind of like a conflict between the two, because people sometimes, if the floor price on the secondary market is too low, people won't buy off the secondary market, so you can't flip unless you get a rare. But in this case, they weren't going to do the reveal until it fully minted. So if it hadn't fully minted, obviously you wouldn't know what's rare or not. And then if the floor price on OpenSea was lower, no one would be buying off the secondary, so it would slow down that, and there'd be no volume. And people might be a little bit put off minting because the secondary market is cheaper. Why would you pay more when you can just buy off the secondary market for cheaper? But the problem with that is that people then don't want to buy the secondary market because it's lower than the floor. So the floor, it's confusing even to me. The floor on the secondary market is lower than the mint, and people want to see something, the collection mint out fully, to see that it has some interest. Because if it doesn't mint out, then it's not, people aren't really interested in it. People are put off. So all of these things kind of like have a knock-on effect. And so all me and my girlfriend did is we looked at the project, had a quick look here. Joined January, so it's not even that old. Had a quick look that they were active and doing stuff. I don't really care too much about like if it's a rug pull, basically meaning they're going to get some money and then just disappear, and then no one's going to hear about them, and that's it. And you'll still have the NFT, but just be more for the aesthetics. Obviously, I had a quick look at the website and the Discord, and just basically had a look to see that it really was something. The website looked all right, the quality. And we were just watching. I like it when you can see how many have been minted, because you can follow it. So if it's the first 1,000 to get for free, you can go ahead and just sit there and watch and see how quickly they're minting. Yeah. And if only 30 have minted, and what you can do as well is, if you can't see it, if it doesn't show you, you can go onto the collection, and you can basically, when people mint, this number goes up, the actual number in the collection. So you can basically just sit here every half an hour, just refresh and get a feel for how many are minting, as another way. If it doesn't show you on the website, if it shows you on the website, great, you can just look. And so after we could see there was 100 here, every 15 minutes, 100, 150. By the time we went to bed, about 3 hours after we minted, or 2 hours, it was like 2,500 minted, which is a good sign within a couple of hours. So we got our free. I only got one. You could get 5, but I just was happy with the one, because it could be worthless. Because what would happen if a lot of them don't mint and this stays really low, 300 out of a 5,000 collection, and obviously then people are put off sort of trading it and buying it because it looks like a crap project. It's not even minting out. It's hardly got anyone actually just minting it. Then it's probably going to just not have any volume. No one really wants to buy them because they just look worthless. And you paid your $32 gas, but that's all that happens, and everything else is a bit of a waste. An example would be, I got these dad motherfuckers just for a fucking bit of fun, basically. They look like shit, and I minted them for I actually paid $100 for this. I mean, I was literally just being a bit stupid. I actually paid a 200. Yeah, I got 2, so they were really cheap, 0.0. They're $80 each, and then obviously, but this was for 2. So sometimes it's like that. It's not free, but it's really cheap. For $100, you could give it a pump, but the problem is that does the project actually look like it's doing anything? And if you come on here, it's got 5.3 ETH volume. The floor is just dropped off to basically like worthless. And so this is the issue with stuff. It is potentially hit and miss. It's worth $9. I actually didn't do any research on this damn motherfucker thing. I literally just thought, oh, I'll just buy it because I was being stupid. And sometimes I do that because I'm like, I want to do things that I wouldn't necessarily do because I want to be in the game. I want to have, like, they call it skin in the game. Anyone can say, oh, it's going to go up, like Bitcoin's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to do this. But if you're not actually doing it, then it's worthless, you saying it. As a sort of how life is, yeah? And so I was like, you know what, it'd be interesting to have a bit of a feel for what it is just to kind of jump in on stuff, only because I know what the original motherfuckers is, and it's kind of like a play on that. And I thought, yeah, that's muck around. But that was zero research. That was just like I saw it on Twitter, and I went on the website and minted it. But I have done that a couple of times with some stuff because I just want to get, I want to get involved. I got some down here. These things, Baby 8. I thought the art was really cool. This was probably something similar, and I just bought them. I actually bought this on the floor for this much. You can see it's really, really small. But again, until I actually do things, I won't have a good feel for I won't be able to put it into my experience and sort of like bookmark that in my experience. I want to be playing as long as the opportunity cost is tiny. I'm happy. Well, not that, but yeah, I'm happy to play around. And so basically, I'm into that, and I sort of 0.1 with a girlfriend. Probably can get one for 0, at least sell that for 0.2, and that's a good flip opportunity for profit. Yeah. And so the best way to do that and define those kind of things is just Twitter. And it's literally just you can go ahead and find me. I'm LukeyBoyN. I don't know why I got that username, but I do. I don't think it shows you anywhere, but it is LukeyBoyN. Or you can, however you want to search this. And sometimes I just basically drop your wallet. I do a lot of this. My VA does it as well. I'm just sort of playing around with it. I have won something for free, so you can just do that if you're looking to get in. You haven't got a lot of cash. Obviously, you can find potential projects that are minting for free. You can just search like free mint up in the search bar or something, free NFT mint, and potentially find these opportunities. Now, of course, that isn't going to be in the hardly. It's going to be like a tiny percentage of my play, like 1% of what I'm doing is going to be actually that. But it's also fun just to do it and get involved and see what happens. I'm literally scrolling down here, just looking for random bits of information. Yeah. It's just, and it doesn't take me long. I just do this like 5 or 10 minutes every couple of hours, and just not even that, every half day, and just see if there's any opportunities. Because usually you can find a lot of stuff really early on Twitter. Going on Google and all that is a bit of a waste of time because it's just so much there. This is normally the best way to find these opportunities. My girlfriend just found it searching for free NFT mints kind of thing, and we went and minted it. Obviously, we did the checks beforehand to make sure it was like minting out, blah, blah, blah. And then, next day I went in and sold it. Now, for example, this could go a lot higher, but it was a free mint and I'm just looking to flip. And obviously everyone's going to have their opportunity to decide what they want to do, which is fair enough. But for me, I don't want to have, in 10 years, have 10,000 NFTs in my collection. Not to say that I won't, obviously I never know. But I would like to consolidate, if I can do that, if I can get 1 ETH a year, 10 times, and that's 10 ETH over 10 years, and that then ETH's worth $30,000 in 10 years' time, that's kind of the play I'm looking for. Just snap up little amounts here, there, and everywhere. Because also 0.1, there's lots of projects that I would easily prefer to put my 0.1 in. I'd easily prefer to buy another Planetary Property Association, so real estate. I'll happily go and, I don't know, buy one of these, another one of these for 0.09, 0.1, it's gone up slightly. But yeah, that is 0.1. Or go and buy another Galaxy Warrant for that same thing, because this could easily go to 0. That's the thing. It could go up, but it doesn't really matter. It's like, top could be, if you keep going, but it could go up. It's like everything could go up forever. But then you'll have nothing ever, because you won't actually physically have any profit, any money, because it's in something that you keep saying is going to go up. At what point is it going to go up forever? You obviously got to decide for yourself what the best thing you're going to do for that is. And so that's pretty much the video. just showing that there are opportunities out there that where you can get stuff for free. You know, there was a small gas fee, of course, but in terms of people saying, "Oh, I haven't got a lot of ETH to start with," you could look to just get involved with the Twitter side of things and look for free potential opportunities like this. You could put in a couple of $100, mint some stuff, get involved with it. In the ecosystem in the NFT space without really putting a lot of money behind it. And even if it ends up being worthless, or you make no money, or you lose a little tiny bit, you sell it for a tiny bit of profit, whatever, at least you have some NFTs. You get to experience what it is like to actually play and buy and mint and all that kind of thing, which is important to get that experience. And then as you kind of have skin in the game a little bit, you can start to get a little bit of confidence, even if it's just like 0.01%, and then you can chip away at that over the long term. Because obviously, even just minting and having an NFT is a bit of a new experience for a lot of people anyway. And so, even getting started like that is definitely the way that you can potentially start your NFT journey. So, gonna leave the video there. Hopefully, got something from this. So yeah, and until next time, everyone. See you on the next one. Bye.